Never has a one-run deficit seemed so insurmountable as in this series between the Phillies and Houston Astros. 1-0, 2-0, and today in the finale, 2-1. Ricky Vitalico, I'm Michael Barkan. We welcome you to Phillies Postgame Live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Phillies end the first half of the season at 47-34. They're on pace for 94 wins. They're tied with the Mets currently, with the Mets hosting the Braves tonight, tied for first place. But Ricky Bo, the big thing is, don't anybody blame the starting pitchers of the Philadelphia Phillies. They pitched lights out. Ranger Suarez, Zach Wheeler, and Cristopher Sánchez today, going against Framber Valdez, Colton Gordon, and Hunter Brown. Someone needed to get a run, or more than one run, certainly.
I mean, more than one run. This was the worst offensive outburst I've seen from the Phillies ever in the three-game series. This was actually kind of pathetic, and it got worse as the series went on. Yeah, they scored a run. I will tell you this much. Brian King for the Astros, I'm not really sure what the Astros were thinking in this type of situation. They brought him in last night in the same type of situation. He was trying to give away the game last night, and he did it again tonight. The guy doesn't throw strikes. And the Phillies ended up mustering up, hold on, let me, one run on a sacrifice fly. And by the way, in that eighth inning, that was their only time they had a runner in scoring position. That's pathetic. And this has been 3 games now. You know, the extra base hits, forget about that. I mean, I think the Phillies are just worried about getting on base, period. This was awful from start to finish. You knew when Cristopher Sánchez was out there and the Astros went up 1-0 that this was going to be a battle all day long. And the one thing that we saw, and Kyle Schwarber said it last night, we haven't been chasing out of the zone, which I thought I kind of rolled my eyes at because, yes, they have.Maybe he hadn't, but everybody else was. And I will tell you this much, watching these at-bats today, were atrocious. How about 1 for 16 today? 9 strikeouts.
1 through 4 hitters.
Those are your 1 through 4 hitters. That's where you're supposed to get your run production. Those are the guys you're trying to flip the lineup for, and there was nothing. The good news, Phillies were 0 for 0 with runners in scoring position. That's the good news.
One total, that's the good news. One total run in this 3-game series. Their scoreless inning streak ends at 26. They had last scored on Sunday afternoon in the 8th inning against the Mets. 1 for 12 RASP in 3 games. Again, they weren't even there to get RASP stats today, and a 155 team batting average in the last 3 games. One of the things we thought might be a silver lining, Ricky, and we discussed this in the pregame program, is the Phillies' ability to hit speed. 325 batting average with 4 seamers, 96 mile an hour and up, and that proved to be fruitless today.
Well, yeah, but you were also getting a guy that knows where to throw the ball. I mean, he didn't play dumb out there. As a matter of fact, he pitched extremely smart. I know he throws hard, but he was able to locate his pitches. And if you notice, there were never any patterns. Like, there was nothing you ever felt like, oh, he's throwing a curveball here, or he's going to go with a fastball in here. You never really got that feel. And you know, when you can do that as a pitcher, you're gonna have success. I mean, I don't know about this type of success against the Phillies like he did. I think he caught a team that was back on their heels, and they knew it was going to be a tough game coming into this one, and they didn't show up. I mean, I think it is that simple. Let's face it. I've seen Kyle Schwarber hit pitchers this good and better. I've seen Trey Turner hit pitchers this good or better. You know what? You can go pretty much up and down the lineup. They just did not do anything. This was embarrassing. It was a little bit embarrassing. The whole series was.
Because all you need, unfortunately, these days for the Phils is one run.
Oddly enough, the guy who scores the run is the only guy that didn't strike out on the team today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody struck out except for Bryson Stott.
I wonder what the manager has to say. Here is Rob Thomson postgame in Houston.
Seen more chase today than you have even in recent days.
Yeah, and he creates that. You know, for Sanchez?
No, like from your guys.
From our offense. Yeah, and he's got good stuff. I mean, he's got carry on the fastball, and the curveball's sharp, and it's late. Yeah.
We've talked about it a few times. Can some of that also be guys pressing and trying to do too much
to
get some runs?
Yeah, sure. You know, we just got to get back to basics and get good pitches to hit and stay in the zone.
With how tough this series was, how big is the stretch after the All-Star break? You got the Braves and then a few.
Yeah, we got good teams. We got San Diego, Cincinnati, San Francisco, San Diego again. So, yeah, we got to get it going here.
y'all have faced Skeens this year, Strider, Yamamoto. Do you consider Hunter Brown in that class, and why do you think he gave you such fits today?
Well, he's got good stuff. He really does, and yeah, he's one of the better guys in baseball. So, but you got to do your best. You got to stay within yourselves.
Beyond trying to make too much out of 3 games, do you see any deeper trends with how your offense has performed that maybe stick out to you as concerning, or?
You know, it's the old thing that I talk about all the time, trying to do too much. That's the thing that concerns me the most, and that's just because they care.
They got a guy at shortstop, Jeremy Pena. I want to talk about him and his next contract. Do you see him as an anchor of their infield, kind of similar to you guys have with Trey Turner? Somewhere?
He's great. He's a really good player. I mean, and he's having a great year. So, yeah, he's one of the best in baseball.
Did you think Kepler would have had a play at the plate there?
Yeah, I think so. He just bobbled it. Those things happen sometimes.
Tinker was hitting the corners, but then he was able to get the Astros to chase. Why? Because he was getting ahead in counts, and then he had that changeup that was just filthy. I mean, it's been really good for him all year. This might have been the best changeup I saw from him, though, all year.
Look at his ERA, bottom line on the right. 1.85 ERA in 5 starts in June, which is spectacular. And that's when you compare to Hunter Brown, who's got a 1.74 on the season. You realize what the Phillies were up against today.
Well, Phillies knew they were they were up against. There was no doubt about that. But it's almost like they gave away at bats.
Yeah, let's go next level, presented by Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. And these are the Phillies starters this series. And they pitched brilliantly, whether it was Ranger Suarez 2 nights ago, Zach Wheeler last night, or Cristopher Sánchez this afternoon. And look what they have to show for it, 0-2 with a 1.37 in the last 3 games.
That's what's amazing. I mean, if I were to tell you that the Phillies threw 19 2/3 innings and their starters only gave up 3 earned runs for 3 games, you would have said, wow, good sweep of the Astros. Instead, not really. Instead, it was completely opposite. I mean, the Astros pitchers shut down the Phillies just as well. I mean, it's just one of those things where this is just really bad timing. Yeah. Really bad timing. And to us as fans and what we do, it's like demoralizing. Mm-hmm. It's like, what do you expect the pitchers to do? Are you guys not going to hit? That's a lot of money that didn't hit in a 3-game series.
Does it say anything going forward? And I know we're a ways right now from October, but we are expecting postseason baseball in Philadelphia. This is something that has befallen this team. When the switch goes off for the hitters, it goes off. Certainly they move on to Atlanta. Yeah. You know, they play the Braves, they play the Mets. They got a series win against them. The Cubs are a good team. They beat them.
I think the one thing that you could say is that we're back on the roller coaster, because you thought it was over. I mean, it's been like this for 3 years. I think we all know that. We all could admit that this roller coaster ride has not stopped with this Phillies team. But when you keep backing it up and have the same, basically the same roster every single year, why do you think it's going to change? I mean, it really gives you no good reason to say, oh, this team's just going to kind of be consistent and cruise right along. This is what you have. And I think the whole hope right now, and I would say this probably a lot of the fan base, the hope is that they hit a lull before they get to the playoffs, and then the playoffs, they kind of take off on that roller coaster.
Yeah, let's hope so. Of course, 81 games, 81 fun games coming up in the second half of the season. What comes to mind when you think of Jose Altuve?
Cheating.
I didn't say that.
I did.
But that's what comes to my mind. All right, take a look at the Phillies halfway through the 2025 schedule. 47-34 record, on pace for 94 wins. They had 95 wins, winning the division last year. They're tied with the Mets right now for first place in the East. But here's something interesting. 4.57 runs per game. That's not second or third or fourth. That's 12th in baseball. That's got to go up. Kyle Schwarber, 24 home runs. 5th in baseball. No other Phillies with 10 or more home runs. By contrast, the Astros have 4 such players with 10 or more home runs.
I mean, when you think about the Phillies, that's the one thing on there that I'm like, how is this happening?
Yeah. and starting pitchers with a 3+ ERA, which is third in Major League Baseball.
Their starting pitching is great.
No issue.
I mean, there is no issue whatsoever. As a matter of fact, they have a surplus of it right now. When you think about who knows when Aaron Nola's coming back, but you also have Andrew Painter, who everybody was hearing he's going to be up right near the All-Star break. It's going to be interesting to see what actually happens with that type of situation, and if they keep all these guys come trade deadline time. But I will say this much, the one big thing that we're always going to look at, and this is going to be a standout, is that the last couple of years have been very kind of tumultuous.
Yeah.
When you think about the offense, it's been ups and downs. And that's one thing. Consistency has not been there. Somehow, some way, the Phillies got to find some consistency offensively.
As we look at the road ahead, Braves, Padres, Reds, and then they go to San Francisco and San Diego. How about this? No Bryce Harper. Hopefully, he'll come back.
I have a feeling it's sooner than later.
But it's been 19 games without Bryce Harper, and the Phillies were 10-6, 10-5. Now they're 10-9 without Bryce Harper. Let's go, Bryce!